Good morning. It is January the 5th, 2018. Time to kick off another trading day. Today will be the biggest news day of the month for scheduled economic news. There is no Fed FOMC meeting this month. So down to non-farm payroll and unemployment. And if you know those numbers before the news hits the tape, you've got today's trade. Hypothetical simulated performance results have certain limitations unlike an actual performance record. Simulated results do not represent actual trading also, since the trades have not been executed. The results may have under or overcompensated for the impact of any of certain market factors, such as lack of liquidity. Simulated trading programs in general are also subject to the fact that they're designed with the benefit of hindsight. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profit or losses similar to those shown. Pretty quiet night overnight for treasuries. Gold's off a little bit. The numbers, if as forecast, are positive for equities. Crude oil, not so for treasuries, not so for gold. The dollar, actually a strong U.S. economy, strong job growth actually would be supported, but the dollar's been getting whacked pretty hard lately. 190K, that was the ADP estimate. ADP came in at 250, so I would look for this number to be higher than forecast. Unemployment at 4.1, could be lower. Manufacturing jobs 15K, they'll take a look at that. Compensation plus 0.3. Work week 34.5. That came in at 34.6. That would support an expanding, growing economy, strong labor market. International trade minus 50B. Nobody will pay any attention to that. Factory orders plus 1.1. ISM services 57.6. And Baker Hughes rig count, don't know. Previously 1065 and 929. Don't think anybody's paying a lot of attention to that. Okay, the news focus will be the non-farm payroll number. I expect it to come in higher than forecast, although can't guarantee that. Then factory orders, ISM services will be the two pieces of news, and for Treasury's direction of the Emini. So without news, resistance starts at 22, and without news you'd be selling 21s to 25s, 27 to 31, again without news. On the buy side, this is a D pattern, perhaps leaning P, a little bit P based on volume and TPOs. Buy would be 13 to 17, buy 1, then 5 to 9, buy 2. I believe the market is short rolling into this number, so the big boys are all buttoned up, have all the exposure they want, and the rest they've hedged away. Big football weekend coming up. The wild card games generally aren't worth watching. It's a way to generate an extra week of revenues for the NFL. The teams that just barely make it in usually get stomped. That's been the pattern for ever since they started this way of playing it. Okay, resistance 8 to 12. 15.19 sell 1, 23.27 sell 2, On the buy side, we're there right now. Number one, the buck to 04. Buy 21.25. Buy 13 to 17. In football, if you've got the quarterback, the best quarterback, and there's only 3 or 4 of them out there that continuously perform at the level, with Brady being at the top of the list right now, you usually are favored to win the games, and I don't see that changing anytime soon. Okay, gold has come off. The numbers, if come in as forecast, would be negative for gold. Having trouble at 25. Yesterday we'd identified 27.28. This volume right there as probably the next stopper for gold. Why high volume numbers versus low volume numbers? It's a go with market. So we've rejected prices above 13.26. Breakout came at 13.10, so if we can stay above 1300, this market can still trade higher, but 13.10 will be the closest near support. And scoop orders on gold, if you have fade orders 10 bucks away, they usually work out fine, but every now and then you can get your head handed to you on this type of news. But again, you can't go into this without a protective stop, and you won't like your fill. Okay, the break right here is where we were the last couple of days, 13.21. That's the low volume number. So 13.20, 13.21 is resistance. So we'll make 20.22 sell 1, 24.26 sell 2. On the buy side, 14.16 buy 1. This is without news. 9 to 11 buy 2. If the news doesn't have any impact, doesn't really move the market in a big way, we'll fall back on these numbers. I think the repatriation of, I'd be really hesitant to be super short the dollar because of the repatriation of $2 trillion plus. If you're willing to pay a one-time tax on it. So some of that money is going to come home. So right now, we got above 120, a round number. We got up to 121.40. Looks like we got a seller above 121.30. And so we'll make 20 to 30, sell 1. 45.55, sell 2. Again, without news. Looks like we are headed lower. Have this pretty clean break here at 120.09. So we'll make 1. I can't even see this morning, so we'll make 75 to 85 buy 1 and 50 to 60 buy 2. That picks up, again, this is without news, the bottom of the trading range and the top of the trading range. That's what we're trying to do here. So probably pretty good support at 2020. Probably pretty good resistance at 2150. Okay, if the numbers come in forecast for crude oil, economy's expanding, it's growing, people are getting jobs, driving more. Good for crude oil. It's the least affected by the news. Our 61.50, 75, sell 1, sell 2, 62, 62 and a quarter. That's where we were yesterday. Basically it's 62 plus or minus to get short for a longer term trade. You can see the breakout came here from 60.75. So 61 even, 61 and a quarter by 1. 60.50, 60.75 by 2. And looking at the Emini is explosive right now. We rolled from the 2700 calls to the 2725, rolled to the 2750 calls, and those calls, the 2725s for a day. It's moving quickly. The people trying to rationalize why buy the stock market at these levels are saying, well, the corporate tax rate is down, individual tax rates are down. Tepper came out yesterday saying because of the change in the tax law, valuations at the start of 2018 are very similar to the valuations at the start of 2017 by stocks. If you look at what's gone on in the cryptocurrency, 3 of the top 10 firms or entities with the highest market capitalization are cryptocurrencies. There is a lot of money on the sidelines. It has to go somewhere. Nobody's betting the house on cryptocurrencies. Everybody knows what it's like getting in, but everybody and their mother wants a piece of the action. I mean, it's conversational at a minimum, and it might represent value over time. Don't know. Certainly no worse than owning Zimbabwean dollars or Venezuelan dollars or whatever they call them. So people are buying them. And one of the things that's really hard for us to appreciate is that you can go out, you don't have to buy 100 shares or 1 share, but you can go out and buy fractional parts of these. So a guy's got 100, 200, 300, 500 bucks, he can put it in the market. A friend of mine's son put together 500 bucks from various sources, and that 500 bucks has been invested over the last month in a lot of different things, and it's worth 3,800 bucks as of the close of business yesterday, and that was 500. And so again, it's nothing that a lot of people aren't putting money out there. That hurts if they lose it, but they are putting money out there. And again, there's a lot of money that has to be invested. So demand is great. More demand than supply. Prices go up. It always has worked. Well, there's good demand out there. What's the next trading target? 27.50. What'll it take to get there? I don't know, but we're on our way. So right now, without news, 33.35, sell 1. 39.41, sell 2. On the buy side, without news, you'd be buying, boy, they really make you pay up, right? 28 to 30, buy 1. And then 23.25, buy 2. These numbers written down. So, quick review of the news. 190K, that number will probably come in higher than that. They both, for a couple of years, ADP has been figuring their numbers just like the Bureau of Labor Statistics does. 4.1 unemployment. That could come in lower than forecast. Manufacturing jobs, 15K. International trade, minus 50B. Factory orders, plus 1.1. ISM services, 57.6. This is your news focus. We'll try to get off a newsday trade in the bond and the E-mini as it happens. Again, it's a trade that carries more risk. You got to be very nimble on your feet, but we'll show you how it's done and the problems with doing it. Sometimes you get caught on the wrong side, and it's very difficult to trade it with normal stops because of the volatility associated with those numbers. So most people will let the news get out of the way, let the market settle down into development, and work the edges at that point. Back as soon as possible. See you probably no later than 7:28 Central to see what we have for this morning's numbers.